Our CES 2018 coverage is proudly powered by Amazon. Help support our content by going to PLUGHITZLive.com/Amazon.
Hi, this is Jacob Cannon with PLUGHITZ Live, part of the Tech Podcast Network. I'm here at the Furrion booth with, would you go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Jonathan Tippett. I'm the co-founder and CTO of the Furion Exo-Bionics Division.
So, this is a really cool looking piece of machinery behind me. What is it? What's its purpose?
This is Prosthesis. It's the world's first purpose-built off-road racing mech. So this was developed over 12 years to be a human-piloted off-road racing machine intended for competitive sport.
Okay. There is a lot of different cylinders and whatnot moving around. So how does this thing walk?
It's four-legged, so the pilot, it has no autonomy whatsoever. It's very much intended to be a sport. Like, I built it to create an experience for the pilot. It wasn't ultimately intended as a technological exercise. It was a human experience exercise. So none of the machine's control is automated. It has no gyros. It's completely dependent on the pilot's skill. I grew up mountain biking and snowboarding and stuff like that, so I wanted to kind of continue along that theme, but with a much more technologically oriented influence. So the way it works is you strap in, you're kind of leaning forward a little bit, and your arms and legs are free to move, and they have exoskeletal controls on them. And those exoskeletal controls pick up your inputs, and they map to the movements of the legs here. So your inside legs control the machine's inside legs, and your arms control the machine's outside legs. Ultimately, we hope to get up to a point where it has a kind of a galloping lope like a gorilla. Right now, we've managed to achieve a sort of a one-step gait, where you can go 1 foot at a time, but it's enough to prove the concept of the machine and that it's like a stable motion platform.
Okay. Now, this is me geeking out. Have you ever face planted with the robot before? Has that happened to you guys?
It's a mech. Don't confuse it for a robot. Robots are automated. But yes, a lot. Like the first several months of training were all face plants and falling over backwards. That's why we have these huge bumper bars here. They have 50 centimeters of suspension travel. Those are off-road racing shocks. So you can fall over from a full standing height of 15 feet. And the pilot harness has suspension on it, so you're cushioned. And then the machine has these bumpers on it. So it's terrifying, but once you get used to it, it's actually kind of fun. And then the bumper bars deploy out, and they lift you back up. So the machine doesn't need any external support vehicles. It can run and fall and get itself up from any position.
Very cool. So you said that this is a totally piloted control. There's no autonomy to it whatsoever. It's all user input.
Yeah, exactly. So the essence of the project is to create a sports league. We're basically creating a new sport. And you really do need to be fit. You don't need to be necessarily super strong, like a man or a woman would be just as good at it, but you need to be fit and agile and coordinated and fearless. So the next stage is to start seeking investment partners and sponsors and some professional athletes to get inside there and actually start bringing up the performance level of the machine from an engineering perspective and a pilot skill perspective.
Oh, very cool, very cool. So your goal is to make a racing series, racing mechs across the desert?
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about a mech is that the race format can be any auto sports format, whether it's drag racing, short track, long form, or any human format. So like parkour, American Ninja Warrior, Strongest Man, kind of more anthropomorphic competition. So the format of the race is something that we're trying to figure out now as we learn the capabilities of the machine. But the league is going to be called the X1 Mech Racing League, and that's going to be the home of the sport.
Okay. So how long does it take you guys to build a mech like this?
The actual fabrication time for this guy was about 12 months. The development time was 12 years. I've built prototypes, power plants, and control systems. I had a single leg that was on a hinged tower that would rock back and forth that you would sit on top of and ride like a bucking bronco. So we developed the technology actually at an educational charity that we founded called the Eat Art Foundation over many years. And the Eat Art Foundation supports projects like this, large-scale electric-powered machines, and we take them to schools and science fairs and use them to get kids stoked about STEM and demonstrate clean power tech. So that's where it was incubated, and then when I partnered with Furion around 2015, they brought the resources, excuse me, to actually build the machine. And they also took my dream of building this one amazing machine and took it up a notch to setting our sights on building the league.
Very cool. Very cool. So Furion, what do they provide on the robot? What is their part in it? Or the mech, I'm sorry.
Yeah. The technology integration between this machine and Furion's expertise is minimal because this was under development well before we partnered with Furion. But we've set a course to help develop the power plant. It's going to be a major collaborative opportunity. They've got incredible expertise in lithium ion. They're kind of pushing the envelope to improve the efficiency and bring RVs off grid. So they've got tons of expertise, and one of the things we want to do with the Mech Racing League is use it as an incubation platform for the improvement of mobile electric power sources. So that's going to be a big thing that we're going to work together on. And then, of course, just like cool accessories like backup cameras and stuff like that.
Very cool. So how long can you go on a charge? It's battery operated, I'm assuming?
Yeah, it's got 500 pounds of lithium ion in its belly, which will run, theoretically, if it's going full speed and there's like an Olympic athlete in there that's mastered it, you could drain the battery in about 20 minutes. I've run the thing for like 2 hours just practicing and training and tuning. So somewhere in there, depending on how good you are.
Have you figured out what your charge time is on the batteries?
Yeah, the batteries are chargeable at 2C, which means you can charge them in half an hour if you have a 10 kilowatt charger, which is a pretty serious charger. We have a 6 kilowatt charger, so you can charge them in 3 hours.
Very cool. So you can race it, use your 2 hours, charge it, and then race it again.
Oh, it's even better than that. We have a second pack. So the pack drops out of the belly, and you can charge and swap. So your downtime is like half that.
That's awesome. What is your favorite part of the mech?
My favorite part of the mech is the exoskeletal interface. It's where the union between human and machine happens. It's the most important part of the machine, and I think the most compelling part because it has this human form to it. You immediately realize that the machine needs a human inside it. So aesthetically, it's really striking. Technically, it's one of the things I'm super excited about developing. Right now, it's just welded out of aluminum. But we foresee some really gorgeous future exoskeletal interfaces with carbon fiber. And, part of the challenge is getting the feel of the machine right, just the response, how much input force and how much damping you have in all the joints to sort of mitigate being jostled around. So it's really the heart of the machine is the human. So it's that integration point that's the most exciting to me.
That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for your time and showing me the mech. Before we go, is there anything else you want to tell me about it?
I think you nailed it. I appreciate all your interest, and it's been a real hoot being here at CES and unveiling the project to the world. # Mech Racing if you want to follow us and look us up.
All right. So # Mech Racing, that's where we can look you up online, and that's the best way to find you guys, to find more information?
Yeah, if you want to see the latest video, the first world premiere video of it walking, go to the Furion YouTube site, Furrion, and it'll be one of the top videos there.
Very cool. Well, thank you again.
Yeah.
For continued coverage of CES 2018, go to PLUGHITZlive.com/CES.